The NBA is absolutely terrified of this, as the Denver Nuggets have solved the one problem that prevented this team from beating the Oklahoma City Thunder and ultimately going on to win the 2025 NBA Finals. And now with that issue being solved, this is absolutely huge. While we also have an official and final Russell Westbrook update as well to go over. There's a lot to talk about with the Denver Nuggets right now, and we're going to jump right in. As always, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you're part of that percentage that's not subscribed to Nuggets Digest, if you're part of that 75%, make sure to subscribe. We have daily Denver Nuggets updates on everything that has to be talked about with this team, and you do not want to miss out on all the Nuggets updates. Now that it's September, there's going to be a lot more basketball news coming out, so make sure to subscribe with those post notifications on, and let's talk about the Denver Nuggets, because look, there was a clear issue with this team in the playoffs last year, and it was evidently clear to anyone who watched a single playoff game that the Nuggets played. You don't have to be a Denver Nuggets fan. I mean, you barely have to be a basketball fan. If you understand sports at all, you would understand the issue with the Denver Nuggets. And it was David... No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with David Adelman. Actually, I mean, it indirectly did, but it's not his fault. David Adelman was running an 8-man rotation throughout the vast majority of the playoffs last season, and honestly, it was the right call. The Nuggets were one of the weakest benches in the playoffs, and it was the whole reason, or one of the whole reasons, why they lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 games. Remember, this was a 7-game series where a lot of it was close outside of that Game 7. A game where Aaron Gordon's leg was just not working. He had a hamstring injury. He could barely run, but he played through it anyway because that's the type of guy that we know AG is. Now, with all that being said, the Nuggets had an issue, and that was in the form of their bench unit. Outside of one man, Russell Westbrook, the bench was horrible. I mean, Julian Strawther had that wonderful game, don't get me wrong, but the Nuggets had a serious bench problem. And what did they do this offseason when they cleaned house right before the playoffs? They fixed that issue 100%. Now, this was brought up by Spencer Christensen, who mentioned that Jonas Valančiūnas helped Lithuania lock down a round of 16 berth with his steady presence on the court. They handed Finland, featuring NBA All-Star Lauri Markkanen, their first loss of the tournament. Valančiūnas has put up 14.8 points, 1 assist, and 5.8 rebounds per game, with only 1 game remaining until the knockout stages of the tournament. Lithuania currently sits tied for second in Group B. On top of that, what we saw from Valančiūnas in the regular season last year between the Washington Wizards and the Sacramento Kings was a guy who was putting up 10.5 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. Valančiūnas is still one of the better offensive centers in the NBA who knows how to play his role and plays it well. He's a very talented NBA veteran who's been on a lot of winning teams. And when you look at the way that Valančiūnas plays, the Nuggets are the optimal team for him to go out and play for, considering they know how to win with a center in Nikola Jokić, who's not a rim protector. And a lot of teams, most teams that win, do have rim protection. The Nuggets, I'm not saying they don't. There is sort of a rim protection by committee and a lot of Aaron Gordon going on there. But at the same time, this is not a rim protection heavy team that knows how to win the NBA Finals and almost beat a team that had the best rim protection, and on top of that, had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who you figure you need rim protection to be able to sort of stop. But no, the Denver Nuggets were almost able to win that series. Had there not been injuries, it could have been a completely different story. Valančiūnas now joins this team, but he's not the only one. There's been a lot of help onto this Denver Nuggets squad that really is starting to change things. But Valančiūnas is one of the biggest parts of this, because now there's more than one big man who can be played. Last year, it was really just DeAndre Jordan and Zeke Naji were the backup bigs, and they were not really able to be trusted in the playoffs. But now Valančiūnas can step in and have big moments. I mean, against Sweden, he played very well, putting up 18 points per game and 9 rebounds with 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Against Finland, where he only did appear in 8 minutes, he shot 4 of 6, had 8 points, and he really, again, he didn't play a whole lot compared to the other games, but he still grabbed 5 rebounds and 2 assists. And then also, we've just seen him consistently perform pretty damn well with Lithuania throughout this entire tournament that's been going on. So what we're seeing from Valančiūnas is a guy who very clearly has a positive impact on winning basketball, and this is exactly what we've needed to see from this team. The Nuggets need more depth at the big man position, and they got it. I mean, Deron Holmes is now back, who was supposed to have a big role last year before tearing his Achilles. Valančiūnas comes in, along with other veterans like Bruce Brown, who's returned to the team, Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been signed. So obviously we do see there has been a severe, really real improvement with this bench unit, which is absolutely what the Denver Nuggets needed going forwards. Trading Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson opened up that opportunity, and it has been an opportunity that's been fully seized. The Nuggets look really, really, really promising right now, and it's more than just because of this. I mean, remember, they also happen to have one of, if not, well, he is basketball's best player in the entire world right now. I mean, Nikola Jokić has been cruising to a line of 20 points per game, 4.5 assists, and 9.3 rebounds with a standout 39-point performance against Latvia in the team's third game. Jokić has been phenomenal. Obviously, we know what Jokić is going to go out there and do. The man put up 36 minutes, or put up 30 points in 36 minutes of action, I should say, while also grabbing 13 rebounds and putting up 10 assists. It's almost like we're numb to these being this being the most, maybe the most insane stat line in history of the NBA. I mean, Jokić is unbelievable. When you consider the fact that he shot 57% from the field and 42% from three, including 53% on corner threes, you start to realize that it feels like this can't even be possibly real, what Jokić has been able to do throughout his NBA career thus far. And he's doing it overseas as well. So he's going to come back. He's going to be ready to go. Now, Serbia did lose their first game of group play to Turkey. They lost 95-90. Alperen Şengün had a great night. Jokić put up 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and had 4 stocks as well. So we're also seeing a defensive uptick from Nikola Jokić. Look, I truly believe it when I say this. I think now more than ever, the Nuggets are very much prepared to go out there and beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs next year. I believe the Nuggets have done the best job possible to try to make a team to counter the NBA's best Thunder. So when we look at this, this is an absolutely perfect situation. Now, speaking of the Thunder, and well, a former Thunder player in none other than NBA legend, future Hall of Famer, former MVP Russell Westbrook, we now have an official and what feels to be a final update on Russ, as it was recently revealed by Dan Pavel that the Nuggets, they changed their direction after one season with Russell Westbrook, actually shifting before the end of the year, firing head coach Mike Malone and basketball executive Calvin Booth. The team has since acquired Cam Johnson, Jonas Valančiūnas, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Bruce Brown. Denver still has room to sign Russell Westbrook, but it doesn't appear inclined to do so. The Sacramento Kings stand out as his obvious next home, as they need a point guard to back up Dennis Schroeder, and the prediction that Pavel made from the final top free agents is that Westbrook signs a 2-year minimum deal with a player option up in Sacramento. Meaning it is now official, the Denver Nuggets will not be bringing back Russell Westbrook. The man's officially gone, which in a lot of ways makes me sad because I love Russ as a player. He put up 13 points per game last year, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, and was one of the most impactful players in the playoffs, playing absolutely excellent defense and doing everything that Russell Westbrook always happens to do well. He put up around 11 or 12 points in the playoffs, 11.7, I'm going to round it up to 12, with 4 rebounds and 2.5 assists as well. The shooting numbers were not excellent from Russ, but again, he was an incredible defender. He was really, really doing what he always does, being just a heart and soul guy for his team. Russ has once again went somewhere and built up a massive fan base. He's done that everywhere he's went that's not the Los Angeles Lakers. And honestly, I really do hope the best for Russell Westbrook going forwards. I think backing up Dennis Schroeder in Sacramento is kind of an absurd place for his career to go because he deserves better, and I'm shocked that there's no teams really taking a better look into Russ going forwards. So much so that he's now one of the favorites to sign him is over in China, as it's now the Kings, the Mavericks, and the Golden State Warriors looking at him before the Flying Tigers become next on the list, which is just absolute disrespect and a gimmick bet, but it's still really stupid that this is where we're at. Well, Russ, thank you for everything. We will miss you. Guys, what do you think about Russ leaving? What do you think about this new look Nuggets bench? Let me know in the comments down below. Can this team beat the Oklahoma City Thunder? I think it easily can. Not even concerned. Not worried. Guys, have a great day. I'll catch you later.